use the fancy thing. I use the not fancy thing a lot of times for smaller areas. The key with this is thin. You don't need that much at all.
Where'd you get those?
These?
Yeah.
These tiny little things? I got those at like Amazon for like a 500 count for like
$2.96.
Yeah, seriously. But these are the little these are the little squeegees. And you just start it on there and you just make sure that all the places are filled. Add a little bit more. Now with the paste, the one thing you really want to do is make sure that it doesn't dry on here. That will kill your transfer. So when I do this, I'm going to hand this off to somebody that's close to the sink over here and have you just wash it off. And then it's as simple as, I didn't bring the paper towels out with me. And yeah, you can put the paste right back in. So this stuff lasts forever. Well, really long time. Forever. It is a bit of an exaggeration.
And it's water-based.
So your squeegee you have to wash
and I try,
also?
Well, yeah, I do, but not as quickly as the transfer. When it dries on the transfer, that's when it starts to deteriorate the transfer. You can get, if these are properly cared for, you can get anywhere from 8 to 15 to 20 uses out of them. And so when you peel up,
oh, that's cool.
And I've got some places here that didn't work, so if we can just do that. Look, and I usually have a wet rag, and I didn't bring wet rag with me, but so there is my beehive, and I don't mind that it's a little bit off because it looks I like it better that way. Now normally what I would do is I would heat set this, but I'm going to wait to do that since we're live.
Do you have to heat set it? Or you just do that so that you don't wipe it off while you're working?
The only reason I'm going to go a heat gun to this is because I want to layer on top.
Okay, so you heat set it so you can layer.
Right, and so with the chalk paste, if you can just keep going. I can sit and let this dry and then go on top of it. And what has happened too, and this is another thing I don't mind, on my Lori B. Crafty page, there's one that I've done of a truck. And you can see the layers of the truck. And I made a mistake on there where I didn't press off the part that does the wheels, and I left it on too long. So the paint peeled a little bit, but it was on the tires. And it ended up looking pretty cool. And so even with this one, if I pull up a little bit of this honeycomb, I'm okay with that because I kind of like how that looks slightly distressed. But this part I want to be solid. So what's the next part here?
So each one of these, like your chalkboard, comes with whatever's...
They're all separate because not everyone uses Couture chalkboards. So
Okay.
you can buy the chalkboard separately, you can buy the transfer separately, and you can buy the paste separately. So say for instance you only want, you want to do a teal piece and a white piece, just buy the two colors of paste and whatever transfer that you want. The transfers are frequently changing. That's one thing that if you follow me, I try and keep up with what the new ones that are coming out, but they are frequently changing, which is nice because then you can always have different projects that you are working on. All right. Who wants to do me a solid and I want to wash that off because I do need to wash that before I can go into my other one. This. Usually when I am
So you just let that dry, right?
Yeah, you just let it sit upside down. Yeah, like that. Sticky side up and you let it dry. And I usually let them dry overnight. And I stick them right back down and they are fine. Now, one trick that I do when I'm working on bigger projects, which I didn't, since I was traveling, I didn't bring with me, I take one of those cookie sheets that has the inch lip, and I have a cookie sheet of water beside me. And then I'll just put my transfers into there, and it keeps them wet, and then I'll take it into the kitchen when I'm all done. And as long as they're wet, they're fine. Thank you very much. As long as they're wet, they're fine. So they can sit in there for 20 minutes to a half hour to an hour until I'm done, and then I'll take them all into the kitchen and clean them all off. And you see all the ink came off.
And it's just water. You just water. There's no
water.
soap in it.
No.
You just use warm water.
Just use water. Yeah, that's it. and they'll last for a very long time. All right, so yeah, we'll just use this as a spreader, just to kind of loop it all on. And I chose teal because that's the accent wall in my crafty layer. Yeah. Should have done an orange. I love teal and orange together right now. It's one of my new. Oh, look, teal and orange.
Oh, Mary Sarkis is watching.
Hi, Mary.
Are we live on Facebook?
Yeah, we are on Facebook.
I didn't sign a release for this.
Don't show Wendy.
Hope you said her name.
Oh, don't
Oh,
show.
see? I demand 10%.
Of everything I got it. And this is, as I said, you have to go really thin. A lot of people make the mistake of leaving too much on here. And if you can notice, you can see the transfer. That's how thin this is on here. And I will say that with the ink, when you are using the ink, particularly on fabric, you really need to go thin. And that sometimes people have had trouble with it, making sure that it was thin enough. So I always try a small transfer, like the one I gave you in your bags, on something that you don't care about till you get the hand.
Does the ink wash out the same way? Just
Yes,
rinse
when
it
it's
in
still
water?
wet. When it's wet, yes.
You just rinse it in
You
water?
just rinse it up.
the heat press?
Now the heat press, if you have fabric, okay, fingers crossed. I feel this is a little. Okay, that edge didn't come out so well. But
I don't know. It looks great from
It
here.
looks good.
yeah,
It looks
there
good
we
to
go.
us.
Thank you, Kathy. And one thing I have been done, and I didn't bring a paintbrush with me. One thing that I have been known to do is actually take a paintbrush, and then if I miss a little edge or something comes up because my son came in to talk to me and I didn't get it pulled up in time or something, you can just take it and literally paint with it. So even if I wanted to do a hand design on here, you can do that with a paintbrush.
Just a regular paintbrush?
Regular paintbrush. Yeah, regular paintbrush, because again, it's water based, so
Oh, that's right.
so it won't hurt anything. Now, your question as to the ink, can you put that to wash as well? Thank you very much. The question as to the ink, when you heat set that on fabric, you can use the ink on fabric, glassware, like ceramic ware. If you do it on glassware and ceramic ware to
The
heat
plastic.
set it.
Get the plastic on the other side.
Oh, Stacy White says hi.
Hi, Stacy. There we go. Sorry. I feel like I've got something in here that doesn't belong.
Yeah, you
here.
did put one in the gray.
Yeah, I think so. That's all right. We'll figure that out later. For the glassware and for the glassware or anything ceramic, hard ceramic, glassware, that kind of thing. If you put it in a cold oven, turn it to 350. Let it sit there for a half hour, pull it out, and let it cool. And it'll heat set. And I've put stuff through the dishwasher after that.
Really?
And it's still on there. At least 3 dishwashers. through.
That's the ink.
The ink, yeah. I've done that on a vase. Thank you very much. I've done that on a vase.
And so when you do it on fabric, do you just use a heat press or something?
Yeah, on a fabric, I've done a heat press, and I have to take a look again. I have it written down. I think it's like 305. And then I can't remember how many minutes it is.
Do you
Or-
put something down over
I
it?
do. I just do.
a
I
craft
just.
mat?
Yes, I use the Teflon mat.
Yeah, Teflon
Teflon mat.
mat, yeah.
And you put on heat press. I have a. This is way too thick. I'm gonna step out here. I actually need to put a couple of drops in this. I'll be back.
This was the silver seal.
I'll be back.
Silver there.
Bad
We'll
live-
hold down the fort.
Bad live technique.
Hello,
Talk
everyone.
about something fun.
We're at Crafty U and it's fun.
We'll hold down the beehive.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
It's a cold. We all wear the same clothes.
Yeah.
So just a few drops of water, and this will bring it to enough consistency.
It's easier to spread.
Yeah, and this is one that I've been using for a while now, so slightly beat up.
So do you have to heat set
to
that
heat.
to?
Nope.
Oh, you're not layering it?
It dried because it just
Dried.
Oh, it dries up quickly. And when you peel up the thing? It won't peel the chalk off?
Maybe so.
Oh, okay.
If I wanted to be really careful about it, I would. I would set it and heat set it. But again, kind of like I said, I don't mind if this looks a little bit, more distressed, you know. So I'm okay if it peels up a little bit of it. But again, if you wanted to be super careful about it, I would hit it with the heat gun and let it sit for about a half hour.
Okay.
And then it's set pretty well. Let's see. I want my bee to go like this. Yeah. And I've not done this before, so I may hate this design and say, yeah, that bee looks horrible there.
Yeah, but then you just erase it.
I just erase it and start all over again. And you can see I've hardly used any of the paste at all. Yeah, it's thicker than what I usually like, but it'll do for us. And as I said, if you look, I kind of do a picture-by-picture tutorial of one that was heavily layered, a truck one that I did recently on my Lori B. Crafty page on Facebook. And you can see where I did like 8 different colors on it.
Wow.
It's a truck with a flower bed in the back.
Okay.
So I did a bunch of different colors. Yeah, this is a little thicker than what I would like, but you know, that's okay. I don't mind. When I started my Be Crafty page, it was kind of a joke that I would share my uglies. And this
I love it when you share your uglies.
This may end up being.
I feel so much better when you do.
This may be ugly. I don't know. We'll see.
No, that turned out nice.
That turned out pretty
Very
cool.
good.
Yeah.
That turned out pretty cool.
Oh, right behind you.
Yeah. So.
More.
Oh! Thank you. So yeah.
I used to have an assistant right there.
And seriously, no, I appreciate it. You know,
Nice of you to volunteer.
it's as simple as
you.
that. And so,
Oh, that turned out awesome.
Adorable.
it's, yeah. And they have, if you go in your pouches that I gave you, it'll be where my website is, and you can look at the current transfers. And again, this one is a current transfer, and I know you can still get it now. But sometimes with the transfers, if you wait too long, they retire them after several months. And I know like our Christmas ones are not retired per se. They put them to sleep. So they'll bring those back again. as
So
well.
are they changing them every month or
Pretty much. I've seen new
like
ones.
for the season? And,
Yes, our catalog. I do have with me paper copies of the catalog. Deb has one. I have some other ones. Paper copies of the catalogs, and that's just good for spring and summer because
Okay.
that'll turn around again too.
So does the catalog come out twice a year?
Yes. Well, they're a very new company.
Yeah.
This is the first catalog that they've ever
Oh,
done.
okay.
So their intent is to do it twice a year to have spring, summer, and then fall, winter. But yeah. So I know this is current.
Okay, do you want me to keep going?
Oh, that's okay. You can cut it.